Today we journey through time, we meet gods, powerful kings, fearless sharks, magical traditions, great battles, and everyday life from long ago. Before temples were built, before books were written, before prayers were memorized word for word, people already knew how to kneel. Not to stone, not to wood, but to understanding. In ancient Mauritania, spirituality was lived. It breathed, it moved with the people, as naturally as wind moved the sand. The desert was not empty. Silence listened. Stillness watched. The people believed the world had layers, what the eyes could see, what the spirit could feel. Between them lived forces older than memory, forces that shaped destiny without showing their faces. Their gods were not distant rulers. They were near, woven into daily life. The wind arriving without warning was not random. The calm before a storm was not coincidence. Every movement of nature carried intention. The desert itself was a spirit, not a god with a single name. A living force, feared, respected, negotiated with. It gave life, trade routes, grazing land, protection from enemies. It also took life, without apology. Fire was sacred, never stepped over carelessly, never extinguished without purpose. It carried messages upward. Families gathered around flames. Stories were told. Ancestors were believed to sit just beyond the light. Fire bridged worlds. The living, the remembered. Water was holy, rare, precious. Wells were guarded by rules older than clans. To poison a well was not only crime, it was spiritual offense. It echoed beyond death. Ancestors never left. Death meant transformation. Breath returned to wind. Strength to earth. Memory to the people. Ancestors advised, protected, sometimes punished. Dreams were their doorway. Warnings were never ignored. Repeated dreams discussed with elders. Dreams of desert, animals, fire, especially serious. Children were taught to greet morning quietly, to acknowledge those who came before. Names were powerful. To speak an ancestor's name invited attention. Some names were reserved for rituals. Some whispered only at night. Spirits lived everywhere. In rock, in trees standing alone, in abandoned camps where laughter once lived. Some helpful, some dangerous. Respect was key. Healers and spiritual guides held a special place. Not kings, listeners. They knew herbs. They knew words. They treated sickness of body and sickness of spirit. Illness was not always physical. Sometimes ancestors were displeased. Sometimes promises were broken. Sacrifice existed. Rare, serious, often symbolic. Milk poured. Food left at sacred places. Prayers spoken at dawn. Life was borrowed, not owned. Time itself was spiritual. The past was beneath, supporting the present. The future watched from above. Elders mattered more than warriors. Knowledge outlived strength. When Islam arrived, it did not enter empty land. It met a people already trained in unseen discipline and ritual, respectful of order, old practices transformed, not erased. Ancestors remembered through prayer, spirits renamed, reframed, not forgotten. The old beliefs whispered beneath the new faith, blending slowly, quietly, like sand merging with sand. Spirituality was not superstition. It was survival, morality, identity. It taught behavior when no one watched. Reminded people they were never alone. The wind remembers. The sand records footsteps. Ancestors are always near, listening. Life in ancient Mauritania did not rush. It moved with patience, like the desert, like the stars. Every day had rhythm, shaped by sun, wind, animals, memory. To outsiders, simple. To those who lived it, wise, balanced, ordered. They were not wanderers without purpose, nomads with intention. Movement was strategy. Camps shifted with seasons, following water, pasture, safety, nothing left behind carelessly. Even footprints told stories. Family was everything, not just parents and children. The wide family, grandparents, cousins, uncles, aunts, ancestors remembered by name. Everyone belonged to something larger. A child was raised by the community, never alone. Elders were living libraries. Memories held laws, genealogies, lessons, warnings. When disputes arose, words came first, weapons second. Elders listened, recalled history, spoke judgment. To disrespect an elder was to disrespect time itself. Children learned by watching how adults spoke, how they shared food, how they greeted strangers. Respect absorbed naturally, correction gentle, learning sacred. Clothing was practical, also symbolic, loose garments for sun and wind. Colors carried meaning. Indigo robes marked status, veils protected face, protected dignity. Tradition, food was shared before it was eaten. No one ate alone if others were present. Hospitality was law. Strangers fed before questions asked. A hungry traveler might be a spirit or an ancestor testing the living. Milk, dates, grains, meat, every part of the animal used. Waste frowned upon, resources scarce. Life sacred. Music and poetry educated. Songs preserved history. Poems recorded battles, love, betrayal, migration. A skilled poet could elevate a clan or shame an enemy. Words sharper than spears. Women held cultural power. Memory keepers, teachers, stabilizers. Lineage often remembered through them. Songs taught courage. Advice guided men. Home strength measured by women's wisdom. Marriage was alliance. Families negotiated carefully. Character, history, harmony considered. Love could grow. Respect required. Divorce handled with dignity. Trade shaped daily life. Mauritania at crossroads of worlds. Caravans carried salt, gold, leather, knowledge, news. Traders were storytellers. Tales of distant lands, foreign customs, the world vast, yet connected. Identity remained strong. Each clan knew origin story, symbols, taboos, responsibilities. Identity earned through behavior. Time measured differently. Sun guided work, moon guided travel. Stars were maps, clocks, teachers. Children recognized constellations before numbers. The sky was the first classroom. As Islam spread, traditions adapted. Prayer joined rhythm. Arabic blended with older languages. Moral laws aligned with spiritual discipline. Respect for elders deepened. Charity structured. Knowledge worshipped. Core remained. Community over self. Memory over impulse. Balance over excess. This was not harsh. It was disciplined. Every action mattered. Every action echoed. And in this rhythm of life, Mauritania unknowingly prepared for its golden age. Before the world looked south for gold, Mauritania was awake. Its people stood at the meeting point of sand and savanna, silence and commerce, spiritual depth and worldly power. This was the age when memory met ambition. Tradition learned how to build. The golden age did not arrive suddenly. It grew slowly, like a city rising from dust. Knowledge, discipline, trade, prepared the ground before crowns appeared. The Ghana Empire, Ouagadougou to its people, cast a long shadow across the region. Its heart lay beyond modern borders, but its influence flowed through Mauritania. Gold moved north, salt moved south, ideas moved in all directions. Caravans stretched like rivers across the desert, binding worlds together. Gold was more than wealth, it was power, diplomacy, destiny. Salt, white, simple, essential, was just as precious. Without it, life withered. Mauritania controlled the pathways. Those who held the roots held influence over distant kingdoms. Trade transformed communities. Towns became cities. Camps became centers. Markets grew. Languages mixed. Cultures listened. Islam spread, not by sword alone, but through merchants. Honesty became testimony. Trust became currency. From this soil rose the Almoravid movement. Men of faith, discipline, reform, not born conquerors. Students of the desert, trained in hardship, humility. Their mission was spiritual first. Moral order before politics, belief aligned with action. Stories survive because people choose to listen, because people choose to remember. If this history matters to you, please subscribe, like, share, so these stories are not forgotten. The Almoravids reshaped the region. They unified scattered groups under shared faith, creating stability where fragmentation once ruled. Their influence stretched far, North Africa, across the sea to Iberia, yet their roots remained desert-born. Disciplined by simplicity, with stability came scholarship. Mauritania became a land of books without walls. Cities like Chinguetti, Ouadan, Tichet, beacons of learning. Libraries not monuments of stone, but living collections, passed through family. Manuscripts covered law, astronomy, medicine, poetry, math, theology. Children memorized scripture and logic. Students traveled deserts seeking teachers. Knowledge was worship. Learning honored God. Teaching served humanity. Chinguetti symbolized this age. Sand and ink coexisted. Mosques, modest. Minds vast. Scholars debated ethics, governance, stars. Calculated time by the sky. Charted seasons for travelers. Preserved wisdom while Europe slept. Power measured not only in armies, but in order. Law brought peace. Peace encouraged trade. Trade funded learning. Learning refined faith. This cycle sustained generations. Wealth did not erase humility. The desert never allowed forgetfulness. Drought could return. Roots could shift. Empires could fade. Leaders who forgot fell quickly. Women remained central. Many manuscripts survived because of them. Education in the home stayed strong. Poetry flourished. Identity deepened. This was Mauritania's moment of light, at history's center. Not the edge, but no age lasts forever. Roots changed. External powers pressed closer. Internal divisions resurfaced. Balance trembled. The desert that once protected now exposed. The same roots that enriched, invited invasion. The golden age dimmed, not suddenly, gradually, grain by grain. Yet something endured. Knowledge remained. Faith remained. Memory remained. These became weapons in the age of war that followed. No land rich in wealth, knowledge and faith remains untouched by conflict. Mauritania's golden age did not end with one battle. It ended like the desert changes, grain by grain, season by season, until the familiar became unrecognizable. Trade routes shifted. Empires rose hungry for control. What had been corridors of exchange became paths of invasion. Power attracted challenge. Unity attracted envy. Tribal rivalries resurfaced. Old grievances rose like bones after a storm. Leadership fractured. Authority competed with ambition. Where wisdom once settled disputes, force now spoke. War was not constant, but it was always present, like a shadow at the edge of the sun. Raids came over land, water and honor. Clans defended grazing grounds fiercely. A well could spark a feud lasting generations. Yet even in war, rules existed. Civilians were protected. Elders were safe. Sacred spaces respected. War was duty, not pleasure. Those who fought without cause were condemned by society, by spirit. The desert shaped warfare. Armies could not move carelessly. Supply lines were fragile. Those born to the land had advantage. Outsiders' strength often dissolved under heat and thirst. Foreign forces pressed closer. North African dynasties, European ambitions. They saw not empty land. They saw opportunity, routes, resources, strategic control. Islam remained unifying, but interpretations varied. Some leaders healed divisions. Others justified dominance. Conflicts became ideological as well as territorial. Then colonial intrusion arrived. Foreign powers came with maps, not understanding. Borders drawn without memory. Tribes split. Allies turned enemies. Resistance followed naturally. Mauritanians resisted, not only with weapons, but with refusal. Refusal to abandon language, refusal to forget lineage, refusal to surrender spiritual identity. Some battles lost, others unrecorded. Greatest victories internal, preserving selfhood under pressure. Knowledge became armor. Islamic scholarship gave moral grounding. Oral history preserved truth where records lied. Songs mocked oppressors. When swords could not reach them, women were pillars of resistance. Hid manuscripts, passed messages, raised children knowing who they were. Memory became rebellion. War changed society. Some traditions hardened, others softened. Nomadic life shrank under control, but adaptation returned. The people survived by bending without breaking. The desert witnessed everything, buried the fallen without judgment, protected the fleeing, erased footprints of defeat, preserved footprints of endurance. By the time colonial rule tightened, Mauritania already knew survival. Under drought, invasion, collapse. Survival was inherited. What war could not destroy, spirit remained. What invasion could not erase, memory endured. What borders could not contain, identity persisted. From this crucible emerged modern Mauritania, scarred, resilient, reflective, and now with weapons lowered, empires faded. The question remained, not how to fight, but how to remember. When the dust of war settled, Mauritania did not return to what it once was. It moved forward, carrying everything it had been. History did not erase the past. It layered it. Beneath modern roads lay ancient paths. Beneath prayers echoed older invocations. Continuity, not perfection, became the nation's strength. Islam now stood at the center of life, shaping law, ethics, daily rhythm. Mosques replaced sacred groves. Written scripture guided where oral chants once led. Transition was not rupture. Respect for elders became respect for scholars. Ancestral wisdom found new voice. Discipline learned from the desert found structure in faith. Spirituality remained practical. Faith lived in food shared, in guests welcomed, in disputes resolved. Prayer marked time. Memory gave it depth. People did not forget. They remembered who carried them here. Nomadic traditions persisted. Movement still defined identity, whether physical or symbolic. Families traced lineage across centuries, reciting names as proof of belonging. Genealogy anchored the soul. Languages blended. Arabic held scholarship and scripture. Indigenous tongues carried emotion, humor, intimacy. Poetry survived, woven with faith, woven with modern struggles. Songs spoke of love, drought, exile, return. Ancient libraries endured, not always in buildings, but in homes. Manuscripts survived heat, neglect, and time, because knowledge was sacred trust, even unread, protected, even fragile, honored. Modern challenges arrived. Urbanization, globalization, economic pressure. Younger generations faced new worlds. Screens replaced stars. Speed replaced patience. Yet old lessons whispered, waiting to be remembered. Respect remained the measure of character. Hospitality remained law. Community outweighed isolation. Visitors offered tea before questions, echoes of customs older than kingdoms. Women continued shaping society. Educators, poets, mothers, leaders. They transmitted identity where institutions sometimes failed. Through them, the past walked into the future. Mauritania today is not frozen history. It is living memory. Spirituality layered, culture adaptive, people shaped by desert resilience and intellectual depth. Ancestors no longer invoked by name and ritual, yet present in values passed down. Spirits once feared now live as metaphors, reminders of humility, of caution. The desert teaches silence. The wind carries stories, and now responsibility has shifted from elders to listeners, from memory to action, from survival to preservation. This story does not end with Mauritania. It continues wherever memory is honored or forgotten. The greatest loss a people can suffer is not invasion, it is amnesia. History is not only in books, it is told to children, practiced at tables, defended when mocked. When stories disappear, identities weaken. When identities weaken, futures fracture. You who listen now are not separate from this story. You are inside it. Whether on sand or concrete, whether your language is ancient or new, you are the descendant of survivors. Someone crossed something so you could stand where you stand. Someone remembered so you could know. Teach what you know. Ask what you don't. Record voices of elders before silence claims them. Respect cultures not as curiosities but foundations. Let children learn Africa was never empty. Let them know it built, thought, traded, believed, and taught. Let them see faith and tradition coexist. Let them understand dignity inherited through memory. Preserve language. Preserve song. Preserve story. Because the desert still listens. The ancestors still watch. The future waits to hear what you pass on.
We hope you enjoyed this documentary. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to help us continue telling these stories. Thank you for watching.